If you remember from last time, my friend and I had a very light introductory cart crash with a couple of JW women. This is a follow-up phone call that I had with one of them. We had planned to meet in person, and I gather their goal was to start the Enjoy Life Forever study with us. But due to weather and other circumstances, we had to cancel that meeting, and we decided to have a quick talk on the phone instead. I still wanted to keep things fairly light, as did she from what I could tell. But I did press a little harder with some questions for her to research. During the cart crash, I had asked them who translated the New World Translation and what their credentials were. She sent me a whole pile of various Watchtower articles about things like the importance of accurate translation, picking the right Bible, and that sort of thing. But of course, nothing about who actually translated the New World Translation. Of course, I already know from those Scottish court case transcripts who it was, but I really wanted her to have to wrestle with this for herself. She deflected as best she could, but I tried, and continue to try, bringing it back to the original question. I did take the time to read through the articles and watch the videos she sent, and even made notes to discuss with her further at some point if possible. Many of the articles she sent actually show how very important it is to know what the credentials are of any translation committee. But, as I've so often seen in their articles, they make bold claims about themselves but give zero proof or evidence to back up their claims. In some way, they're actually making the argument for me. I agree that using the best translation or translations is important, and I have spent a fair amount of time researching the differences between them. The New World Translation is so far outside the realm of translations that are even striving for accuracy that this is why no serious Greek or Hebrew scholars bother with it. So, here's part one of our phone call. You may notice some weird crackly noises in this recording from time to time. I've tried to get rid of those as much as possible. I just wanted to mention it because I know at least one of my commenters will ask if someone farted, but no, it was just an issue with my recording device. Sorry to disappoint.
My friend actually suggested that I send you a copy of the New World Translation, and I'll send you some links to some of the questions you had, and then that way you can compare a little bit and you can see, for yourself a little bit more.
Sure.
The difference in translations, and then next time we can all visit in person, then we can go over the lesson together if you'd like
Okay.
in the brochure.
Sure.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, no, that sounds fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I thought maybe we could try Zoom as well, but
Yeah.
but we both have an account, but I've tried it a couple times, on my own account.
Yeah.
And the first time it was successful, but then I was having troubles.
Yeah.
So
It's
I wouldn't want to set it. Yeah, it's finicky. So, yeah. So is that okay if I'll send you the New World's translation? I can send a link to Anne as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah, actually, we know it's on the jw.org website, right?
Oh, okay. So you already have access to that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen it on there.
Perfect.
Yeah. I noticed they have the Kingdom Interlinear there too, so I like to look things up on there too.
Yeah, and they also have, if you go to the little language, at the very top right corner, you'll see it's like a language bar, so you can get the website in different languages. But you can also, when you click on the Bible and you click on the language bar, it will give you like a King James version, interlinear version, different. There's several different translations on there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go through them all and kind of get a better idea. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. We also use there's a website called BibleHub.com.
Oh, okay.
And that one has like a whole pile of English translations. So it's kind of neat. You can just look up like one verse and then see all the different translations and how they render it. So it's handy just to get a quick look through.
Absolutely.
A whole bunch
yeah.
of them like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to look at the video too? Because
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the tour of
Yeah.
the different. Okay. Yeah. So the Bible is definitely something that it's we try to get as accurate as the original renderings, and he explains in detail, how they went about it. But I can send you the links that you asked. Basically, the translation committee, they wanted to remain anonymous, but everything is organized through the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay. So like the current governing body, or the one from back when it was first translated?
Well, the current one would have it would have been under the direction of the current governing body, the New World Translation that was just released.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is there
basically?
Sorry, is there a way to learn about their credentials?
So they are. I can. Well, basically, the governing body is. We believe that they are anointed by Holy Spirit. So they're. I don't know if it's a topic to get into, but I don't know if you've. It's just to go through the scriptures to see how it all comes about, but. We believe that Jesus is using, like in Jerusalem, like in the early Christian, like with the apostles, they had a governing body. It was basically organized the same way as how it is today through the governing body.
They had a governing body?
Yes.
Is it mentioned in there anywhere?
In the Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's. I can show you information about that as well.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other topic.
Yeah. You could send me stuff. Yeah, because I've never seen the term governing body in there anywhere.
You can probably hear that I caught her off guard with this question, and then with others that I asked later on. She was likely hoping that all the articles she sent me would be enough to get me overwhelmed and distracted enough to forget about it. She completely believes in the governing body and their claims about themselves, but she knows nothing about what their credentials are or why she should or shouldn't trust them. So, as they always do, she deflected to claims that they use to read themselves into the Bible, how they're the faithful and discreet servant and all that. It's a way for them to try and get past the question without answering it, because they can't answer it. Just like they don't know anything about who translated the New World Translation, they also don't really know anything much about the governing body and whether they should really put all their faith in those 8 men. So my hope and prayer is that just bringing up these questions and trying to gently keep on them might help get them thinking for themselves and to start asking the same questions. But at this point, she's basically just reciting, sometimes multiple times, the claims made in their articles, just as she has been trained to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got that.
And then they're also, like the term is the faithful and discreet slave, if you've ever heard of that term.
Yeah, in Matthew 24?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the faithful and discreet slave, the one who Jesus is using as, humans to guide.
So that's a parable, right? So you're saying that they're that parable?
Well, the faithful and discreet slave is someone who, like, Jehovah is a God of organization, and he has always had like a human representative to basically speak in his behalf, and he used to shepherd or deliver certain messages. So the faithful and discreet slave is someone who we believe and we know who's guiding the organization under the headship of Jesus. So that's a topic to get into.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a one step at a time. That's why having a Bible study, it's all laid out, because it's all the information is there, but just going through the study together, like, it's kind of like, the lights kind of just getting brighter. It's one truth after another. It's just going through the scriptures to allow the scriptures to explain it to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all there. All the answers or the questions, that you have, they're all really good questions. And, so it's, just taking one step at a time, but I can definitely send you, a little bit more information about the governing body and, their role in the Christian organization and how,
that helps. Yeah, that helps, because if they're the ones who are kind of in charge of that, then I definitely would want to do more research into who they are and why I should trust them, I guess, right?
Yeah. And the thing is too, with studying the Bible, you'll be able to see how their role is actually, you'll see their role more as we're getting fed spiritual food at the proper time. We're the scriptures are, it's okay. There's a scripture that says in 2 Corinthians, it's 3:16. Let me just check here. I think it's in 3:16, but it's basically how. Let me just find it. Okay. Well, and I'm not comparing them, but I'm just saying, Jehovah's, when you're looking to Jehovah, the God of the universe, and if you're looking for direction from him, you'll be able to see that, basically there's a veil on on a lot of religious beliefs, but when you turn to Jehovah, the veil is taken away. But what I'm trying to say is, he's using the faithful and discreet slave to dispense spiritual food in a way that, is basically, there's been a lot of lies about, so I'm just feeling really, I don't know, I feel like I have to sit down with you.
Sure, no, I understand. That's a lot of big stuff.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, there's been a lot of untruth about God and his role and Jesus and his purpose, and so it's turning to him. You'll be able to get the truth, and that's through his word, the Bible. And the faithful and discreet slave, they basically just help us understand the Bible, in a way.
So I'm just trying to understand, is that a nickname they gave themselves then, the faithful and discreet slave, because of the parable? Is that kind of how they're using it?
It's not a nickname. It's the faithful and discreet slave is a term used in the Bible too. It's
in the parable, like it's in Luke as well, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I've read that parable. So I mean, I can understand that Jesus was asking, who then is the faithful and discreet slave versus who is, the wicked servant, and So, but it's just sort of, he's saying that to all of his disciples at that point. So it's like, are you faithful or are you not? So yeah, I've never heard of anyone calling that parable literally somebody in the future, I guess. Sounds weird to me.
But if we go back to that verse too, Matthew 24. Okay, so it says here in Matthew 24, verse 45, it says, "Who really is the faithful and discreet slave whom his master appointed over his domestics to give them their food at the proper time?"
Mm-hmm.
He's assigned something to this class.
I didn't jump in here to ask her about what she meant by class or where that is in the Bible, but I'm sure it will come up again many times in the future. They often say the faithful and discreet slave class, almost like that's a biblical phrase. I'm sure that's because they hear it so often from the org leaders. Next, she will go into their usual spiel about the two-class system. Again, there's lots I could pick apart and ask her questions on, but I didn't want to overwhelm her too much at this point. From there, she goes into their general defenses, like that they're getting so much information or food from them at their meetings, in their publications, and all that, and how there are 8 million of them all united, or more accurately, all in uniformity to whatever they're told each week, no matter how much it changes. And they're somehow the fulfillment of both a parable and of prophecy, though without any proof. Again, I could challenge her with many more questions on this, but I have to pick my battles so that I don't scare her off. Or at least not yet. In time, she will probably decide she's had enough of our discussions. I find that generally happens once you ask too many hard questions that expose so many problems with the leaders that they follow without question. But my hope and prayer is always that it will help them to start waking up and turn to the real Jesus, who is mighty to save.
Who, getting to know who Jesus and his, the anointed ones, like who are co-rulers with Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with him having co-rulers in the heavens with him?
Oh, sure.
And having a certain amount of number of co-rulers to rule over the earth.
I've heard some people say that there's a literal 144,000 that have a special place in heaven.
And that's in the Bible. That's in Revelation, and the scriptures all tie in to who that is, and those are ones who God has chosen on the earth. And the faithful and discreet slave, or the anointed co-rulers, 144,000, will be ruling with Jesus over the earth. But there's still some remaining here on the earth of the 144,000 who have not yet died and are not in heaven with Jesus at this point. But so the ones remaining on the earth is still part of that class, the heavenly class. But they're still here on the earth right now, the last of them. So we refer to that group as the faithful and discreet slave, or the anointed ones, and all of the ones on and all of the ones on the governing body. They are all part of the anointed class. So they're feeding the domestic. So they're being guided by Jesus as the head of the Christian congregation. So all of this, the information we get, is coming from the faithful and discreet slave.
So I'm just trying to understand then, is that, so the parable applies to all of the 144,000? Is that what you're saying, or I'm just trying to keep up?
Well, the 144,000 is the faithful part of the faithful and discreet slave, that is so the ones who are part of the governing body, they are part of the 144,000 if they remain faithful to their final course, and so that's who's dispensing the material that we get, like everything through the conventions and our weekly studies. We do in-depth studies of the scriptures, and we basically are we're united around the world. This is a worldwide organization. You could, if you see on the website, there's over 114 languages or something, 114 languages. So this is part of Bible fulfillment as well. That there would be a people who's united in worship of the one true God and His Son. But this takes time for you. It's not gonna faith is something that it's not like a blind. This is something that it's so important to be able to have your questions answered and to be able to sit down and have this study, because these are some pretty deep topics, and going through the scriptures is actually the best way to fully understand it, for yourself. I can try to explain it as much as I can, but I'm by no means, I'm just, I can share the truth with you, but it's important for you to see it from the Bible and just
Okay. So you had a study that you wanted to do. Do you have a specific book or something that you wanted to go through, and is it on the website so I could look at it, or?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure if you wanted to start off with the brochure. The brochure is basically what we're studying at the moment. With interested ones. And if the brochure is something that interests you and you want to continue, then we go into the book. It has the same title, but it's the book. It's not the brochure. So if you go under
just like the same name as the brochure?
Same name, but under the book, and that will go into a lot more depth of different topics. And actually, if you wanted to do a pre-study by yourself, just to jump ahead and get into that information, I can try to find out what chapter that would be in, but just need a minute. So, can I ask you, are you from a certain religious denomination, or are you just looking for truth?
This was a longer conversation than I had actually expected, so there's more yet to come. We'll pick up right here next time.